Hi guys, it's me again, Charles Norman from Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS, and it is a software that if your child is trying to get an athletic scholarship, we take their academic information, the sport they play, the level that they believe they can play at, and we give them a list of schools they qualify for academically to attend that offer scholarships for their sport. And so in this one, I get a lot of feedback from when I make videos like these, and the big one I got back recently was what's going to happen at the collegiate level now, the NIL there. Is NIL going to ruin college athletics? And there's a lot of controversy on this. Most people think, you know, the kids are no longer amateurs. They're getting paid to play, so it's ruined the whole thing. Here's what I'm going to tell you is going to happen. Just from me, my observation, these are all my opinions here. College athletics is about to explode in the number of participants and the amount of money that's going to come in, and its popularity. All of this stuff is coming to fruition. And there's a couple of reasons for this. One, economically, the world is going to start having issues in the next 2 years. It's going to work its way out. Nobody panic here. But whenever there is a economic downturn, there's certain industries that do really well. And one of them is entertainment and athletics. And entertainment and athletics really are kind of the same thing. It's something to keep people occupied while things aren't going quite so well. Everyone's got a TV in their house. Everyone's got a computer. Most people have, access to the internet. And so watching sports and enjoying sports is something people can do at a very low cost to them. So that's one of the things that's going to happen. The second thing is that the NCAA, which is the leading governing body for college athletics, is in chaos right now, right? So their leader, Mark Emmert, is going to be stepping down soon. And then they don't even have a replacement that they've named, at least right now. But the NCAA from now moving forward, in my opinion, is going to weaken, and quite a bit. It's not even going to be close. What's going to happen is that each of the conferences, their leaders, their president for each of the athletic conferences, the SEC, the Pac-12, whoever, all of those conferences, those people are going to start leading and deciding how their conferences are going to be run, how their competitions are going to be run. And so that's going to make a huge difference in how things work out. What I think is going to happen is, I think remember, there's only 2 sports that really make money in college athletics, at least pencil out way ahead on the profit margin, and that's football and men's basketball. And there's some other sports that do okay or hold their own, and so there's nothing wrong with those sports, but those 2 sports dominate the money that's going to move forward, and money drives everything. And so in this case, what's going to end up happening is the better programs are all going to get together and kind of join the same conferences. Now it's going to be up to those conference presidents, if they're smart. What they're going to end up doing is making sure that they don't have a top and bottom layer, because a lot of teams are going to leave. A lot of powerful teams in some other conferences are going to leave and go to the bigger conferences, and they're going to all join together. They're going to become the super conference, and then they're going to get all of the TV money. They're going to get most of the revenue. They're going to get most of the attention from everybody, and then everyone else is kind of be left to scramble a little bit. But again, whenever there's chaos, there's opportunity for those conferences that those powerhouse teams left. They've got to be a little bit more creative in how they go about running their programs. Now, if it was me and I was in charge of one of these conferences, the first thing I would do is expand my offerings as sports. You would think they would contract, but they're not. They shouldn't, I would say. What they should do is expand. If you have kids on your campus that are participating in sports, they're going to get better grades, because the athletic programs watch their kids. They monitor them. They don't let their grades come down because they need them to perform. And so they take care of that. Also, if you really look at the statistics, kids that play sports in college have a higher graduation rates than kids that don't. You don't get dropped out. Your level of depression, the level of isolation you feel as a student on campus drops dramatically when you're a part of something. You have to be a part of something. And just being a part of the school is not enough. So you want to be a part of something on campus, and athletics does it. They should definitely increase their club sports. I don't understand why they don't just have the biggest club sports programs at every single college around, because what I would do if I was doing this. Now, remember, the other thing that's kind of interesting, and a lot of people don't understand, is that only a handful of sports actually give full ride scholarships. So you have your men's football and you have men's basketball. Those are the only two at the D1 level. Those are the only way you're guaranteed a full ride scholarship. Everything else for men is called equivalency, where you have a set number of kids on the team and they dole out a set amount of scholarships, and then they have to break them up and give partials to everyone on the team. And maybe one kid gets a full ride, but everybody else gets a quarter of a ride or half a ride or whatever they're going to do, depending on your value to the team. I would say get rid of that. How come everyone can't get a full ride? Who makes these rules up? Is it the NCAA? Whoever made these rules up, if I was in charge of a conference, I'd say, you know what, we're going to change our rules. If you are participating in a sport on our campus, we're going to give you a full ride. Yeah, economically, some people say that doesn't make sense, but you're going to get more athletes to come to your school for those other sports, and you can now grow those other sports because of NIL. So let me keep going. Then I would add more club sports to my campus, and I would tell anyone who's participating in club sports that you will get a reduction in your tuition, because I want to encourage people to come here, participate, get involved on the campus lifestyle, and you're probably going to graduate. And if you graduate, you start losing some of the other problems colleges are having right now, where the cost of going to the college is just ridiculous. And you got a lot of people that drop out that have these student loans, which is always in the news now. They're not going to be able to cancel these student loans. So you guys can forget that. They may give some relief, but they can't cancel them all. They just can't do it because that money's owed to the government. And the government can't just wipe that away. And then how are you going to make up for it? You're going to have to charge other people. And there's no political party in the world that's going to say, okay, we're going to take care of these people only that got these degrees maybe, or have this student loan, got these degrees, got the better jobs because they have their degrees. They're probably in management. And now we're going to wipe that debt away because, well, you know, it wasn't your fault. You didn't know that, you know, you shouldn't be taking out these loans. Nobody's going for that. And any political party that tries to pull that off is going to be in deep trouble here. And I get it. Maybe you were 18, 19, 20 when you took these loans on, and it doesn't seem to be a way to get out of them, right? So some of the things you could do is have them give back to the community and take some of that off. I know they do that with teachers and fire people and police officers and people that are giving back to the community, both work-wise and in other ways. And they'll let you write some of that off. That could be a way to do this, but you cannot do that where you just go the other way. At least in my opinion, I don't think you could do it and get away with it as a political party. Okay, the next thing you want to do, you want to, with the club teams and all that sort of stuff, you want to start getting that NIL thing going, because name, image, and likeness for the athlete just makes a lot of sense, right? Because if they can find a way to monetize their abilities, especially at the high D1, we know they're going to be fine. But I'm talking about your D2, D3, NAIA. Everybody should be trying to push for their athletes to start getting a social media campaign. It just makes a lot of sense, because the more people that are into that student athlete, the more people that are into your athletic program, right? Because they're going to be paying attention to that kid. And it doesn't matter what the sport is. It doesn't have to be football and basketball and volleyball and soccer and field hockey or whatever it is. It can be anything on campus. That way you add more sports, you have more kids, and you encourage your kids in your sports program to reach out socially on social media to bring in more people into their world, and that brings more people to your world. And then those are the people that will buy tickets for the game. Those are the people that will buy the streaming service because they want to see their person that they're following participate in the sport. And now you start growing more of the sports. Okay, so if you wind all that together, that's cool. This is what I think the colleges can do it. But here's the other reason why this thing's going to explode. It's because of blockchain, the metaverse, all of that stuff that you hear about. It's coming. I get a chance because of the software we have and some of the people I'm around. This thing's here. It's coming. I don't give any kind of financial advice, but if you think for a moment that the cryptocurrencies and all that stuff is going away, that it's not real money, it's just a bunch of digital numbers, well, that's what the world is today anyway. And so you don't want to miss out on this stuff, but I'm not telling you what to do or where to use your money or where to spend it or what's worthwhile or what isn't. But blockchain's coming. The metaverse is coming. And really, here's the way I want you guys to think of the metaverse. Imagine, I'm in California. Imagine you decide you want to go on vacation and you're going to come to California and you want to go to Disneyland. So you're going to fly into California, maybe fly into LAX. So now you're in California and you're in the Los Angeles area. And now you need to go over to Anaheim because that's where Disneyland is. And so you arrive in Anaheim and then you go into the Disneyland, you pay for your ticket and you walk in those gates. You now are in the Disneyland metaverse. They have you for the next number of hours, right? You're going to go in there and you're going to eat food. You're going to get on the rides. You're going to buy some gifts for people. You're going to walk around. You're going to take photos. Everything that you do in there goes to Disneyland. They own that. So that's kind of the metaverse. You're in the United States. You're in California. You flew into LA. You went to Anaheim, and then you walked in those gates, and now you belong to Disneyland for a while. Now, let's talk about the multiverse, because this is also coming. What is the multiverse? So in California, we have Disneyland, we have Magic Mountain, we have Universal Studios, we have Knott's Berry Farm. We have a bunch of stuff out here, right? Same thing, Florida, right? So what could happen at Disneyland is I paid for my ticket at Disneyland, but for an extra $25, $30 a ticket, I get the multiverse pass. And that allows me now to go over to Universal Studios or Knott's Berry Farm or Magic Mountain or wherever, and I can get in for no additional cost. But the minute I walk into those gates, I belong to them. Now I'm going to eat, and now I'm going to buy some gifts, and now I'm going to do that over there. And that's sort of all these guys working together. And so that extra $30 they took in, they spread that out amongst each of the organizations. So this is a real world example of that, where they're going to do the same thing in a digital world, a blockchain world, where you're going to go into, you don't even log in anymore. And that's the great thing about the blockchain. You are who you are. So they'll have to put a front end on this thing, but you're going to go into this world and you're going to be there. And now you want to go traveling. You're going to go over to Europe, or you're going to come to the United States, or you're going to go to these other places, and you're going to, maybe you have some glasses on when it starts off, but over time, you will feel like you are there. You'll be able to go to these games. You'll be able to sit on the 50-yard line, and you don't even have to go to the stadium, but you'll feel it, because that is where it's coming. And it'll take a little while to get there, but it's coming. And one of the big things I try to tell you guys, and one of the things we try to emphasize to the kids that are in AthleticSOS, you got to see out further. Forget 2 years, 5 years. We're going 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You want to put yourself in position that as things are coming in, you're paying attention to them. Yeah, you can't do everything right now, but you want to be prepared for that. Well, this is where the college world is going. And then here's the last piece that I think is going to make college sports explode. I think those TV contracts, which will no longer be really TV contracts, I think they're going to explode. And here's why. It's because of wagering. Now, I'm not going to use the word gambling, but it's going to be wagering, and it's coming. So all the college conferences need to do now is say, listen, if you want to win over our television contract, because that's where we are right now, we're going to give you the rights to handle the wagering too. That'll be your responsibility. And now those numbers for those television contracts are going to go through the roof, because there's so much money that can be made now, right? So you're not just winning the right to televise or show or stream or whatever you're going to do for the actual games. Now you can handle any kind of wagering that comes in and get a cut of that. And now the numbers are going to go through the roof. And then if I was in charge of a conference, no contract would be more than 3 years, with the right of the conference to extend it out another 3 years. And then after that, it has to go to bid, right? And then so you can bring other people in. And so that, for the first 3 years, that will give the people who have the rights, the broadcasting rights, it gives them ability to ramp up, because they have to ramp up. You can't say, oh, you only have a 3-year contract and now you've done all that, you spent all this money to get this thing set up, and now we've got, nothing left. You're going back out to bid again? Are you kidding me? So you should get at least 2 automatically, and they can work all that out. But that was the way I would do it if I was in charge. I'm not in charge, but all of this stuff is coming. So with the combination of everything that I just told you, sports will explode. NIL will not hurt college athletics. It is going to explode it. And then I want to do this final thing for my parents that watch me a lot here when I talk about this stuff. Be very, very careful about how your kid signs up, what school they go to, and what their NIL on-campus program is. Now, a lot of the programs are trying to figure it out right now, and I think for the most part, they want to be helpful. But you want to make sure that your kids' rights to their name, image, and likeness doesn't get signed off right after they just won the rights to control it. You don't want to get signed off. When they have that uniform on and they're playing for that school, they are playing for that school. Those are the school's rights. You don't have right to everything that they've done on the field or on the court or in the competition world. But off the court, off the field, you got to maintain some of your rights so that you can find out some other ways to monetize your kid's name, image, and license. So just be really careful on what you sign up for. I think the colleges are doing the right thing. They're embracing it as much as they can. Right now, they're using it to get the best of the best players. They got players transferring from school to school. I don't understand why players are doing that. Just because other school has their NIL game together, that doesn't mean you can't stay where you are and build up your own NIL program on your campus. Start talking. If you're one of the top students at your school, top athletes, go into the athletic department and go, okay, how are we going to do this, guys? Let me help out. Let me be part of this. This could be a career move for you later. Stop trying to run to the front runners. Stay where you are and work your way through this. And if they don't put a program together, you put a program for yourself together at your school. You're the big honcho on your campus. Use that to your advantage and try to help some of the other kids in the other sports, because the more of you that are doing something, the more you guys can all work out, and it'll work out good for you. You want everybody rowing the same direction. And so you can start helping out, and that might be your career after you leave out of there. You never know. And if people know, if a lot of kids that, and this is something that's happened with the younger generation, they understand that they want to be in charge of some of their own future. They don't want to just walk into some place that's already got everything mapped out for them. They want to kind of take some chances themselves, and I think they should. And so all of these things put together, NIL will not ruin college sports. It is going to improve it. It's going to enhance it. It will be completely different in 5 or 10 years from what it is right now. So you guys need to be prepared for that. Start reading up on it. Start looking up stuff online and try to figure out what's going on. Look at the college program. Some of them got it together right now. They're moving forward, but it's in its infancy. But all those things are going to come together and make it really moving forward. It's going to be remarkable over the next few years. All right, guys. As always, best of luck to you. Stay in the game. If your kid wants to keep playing, let's try to figure out a way to get them there. Down below, as usual, I will give you a code and I will give you instructions so you can use AthleticSOS so you can find all of your kids' opportunities and options. If they're a high school athlete, we'll tell them where they can go play, and then you guys can reach out and we kind of teach you how to do that inside the software. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.